Welcome to Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. Well, we're still going to be a little on the windy side today, but mild across the entire Rocky Mountain West and the Western High Plains. Really going to be great weather through Friday. We're still sticking with it. A longer-term trend, though, is coming that will be more unsettled. We've got big changes coming this weekend, but they're delayed slightly. I think most of the weather for most of you watching and listening to this podcast is going to be coming more likely late Saturday night, Sunday into Monday, with the storm slowing down just a little, but it's still on the way. Much colder air is coming relative to what we're experiencing right now, so be ready for the colder air to come in and stick around, although this cold outbreak is not nearly as intense as the last Arctic outbreak, but still, it's going to be cold and colder for longer. Mountains are poised to get the most snow out of this. This is a pattern that is going to really favor the high country. This is the type of November storm that puts a good layer of snow down in the mountains of the west to start that good solid snowpack layer, that first good layer of snow that really isn't going to melt at all. This last storm has seen a lot of melting even in the high country, but this storm is going to lay down that first layer of snowpack. So good news for the snowpack skiers and snowmobilers all across the Intermountain West, as I'll show you the mountains are going to fare well. This is where we are today with the jet stream. We have that zonal, we call it west to east flow with the jet stream pumping mild air in from the Pacific across the U.S. There's this little wave right here. This will be responsible for the breeziness today across the region. But as we work our way into Saturday morning, look at the change. This guy up here in the Gulf of Alaska dive bombs southeast, and we have this deep storm system over central California headed into the Rockies, bolstered by a big area of high pressure in the eastern Pacific, helping to drive that cold air south. And then we've got this big ridge here in the eastern areas of the United States. So everything is set to bring colder and unsettled weather to this part of the nation in the longer term, because this high here will block this storm from marching east. This high here will continue to dig it into the west. So this is going to be a period of colder, unsettled weather for all of the western United States. Great news for the Pacific Northwest, and yes, California, you're going to get rain and mountain snow. By Monday, you can see the trough continues to hang around in the western United States. More tropical trouble, maybe, in the Gulf of Mexico next week. We'll have to watch that. But notice the general trend is northwest flow with a trough in the west into the early parts of next week. And this is what it looks like with precipitation. Notice the brightest colors are in the mountains. Look at the southwest and western mountains of Colorado, the mountains of southern Wyoming, going to do really well. Jackson up into the Tetons, eastern Idaho, going to do really well. The first good snow of the season for the Sierra Nevada, and significant precipitation as you get up into Boise, as you get up into eastern Oregon and Washington, and then across Montana. Notice, though, east of the Continental Divide, there is going to be some snow. However, the snow amounts are going to be lighter than the last storm. This is a system really going to do well for the high country. Snow on the plains will occur, but it won't be as extensive. I want to show you the contrast in temperatures with this change in the weather. These are temperatures relative to average for Saturday afternoon. Look how warm it is in the Rockies and the High Plains Saturday. So Saturday, we're going to have another really warm day. But here's the cold from the low coming into the West Coast. By Tuesday, all of the Western High Plains and Rockies has got temperatures far below average. Again, this is not as intense as the last Arctic wave, but it will nonetheless bring in much colder air, and it's going to stick around for a while. This is out to 10 days. High pressure remains in the eastern Pacific. Northwest winds aloft will keep a trough pattern in the western United States, and the door is open to this cold air in Canada. So instead of rebounding back to unseasonably warm, dry conditions like we've experienced this fall, this colder weather, once it moves in, is going to hang around for a little bit longer of a period of time. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast. We'll update you on Thursday.